Let's get right into it. Number 1, phantom phone buzz. You're sitting there, minding your own business, when suddenly you swear on your grandma's casserole, you feel your phone vibrate in your pocket. The rush of dopamine hits, you yank it out like you're defusing a bomb, and nothing. No text, no call, not even a notification from that random app you downloaded in 2017 and forgot existed. Congratulations, you've just experienced a full-blown hallucination courtesy of your nervous system. Psychologists call this phantom vibration syndrome, which sounds way cooler than it really is. Basically, your brain has been so thoroughly conditioned to expect that little buzz of validation that it starts making it up. It's like your nervous system runs a rehearsal of attention-seeking behavior on repeat. Your thigh becomes a part-time improv actor, pretending to be T-Mobile. And it's not just you. Studies found that 80–90% of people who carry their phones in their pockets report this nonsense. That's right, your leg is gaslighting you, and so is mine. Some scientists think it's because your brain wires touch sensations into patterns of expectation, which is nerd speak for you. Keep waiting for texts you're not getting. Champ. But hey, at least phantom buzzing makes you feel important for 5 seconds. Which, honestly, is more attention than most of us get on a Monday. Number 2, imaginary arguments in the shower. There you are, shampoo halfway down your face, and suddenly you're arguing with Karen from 3 years ago who cut you off in the grocery store checkout line. And this time, you're winning. You've got the comebacks, the mic drops, the perfectly devastating, well, actually that would have ended her whole lineage. The shampoo bottle becomes your TED Talk audience. Why does your brain love running imaginary beef simulations at the least useful times? Because your mind is addicted to rehearsal. It's practicing social survival in case the world randomly throws Karen back at you. Psychologists call it rumination, which sounds like something cows do, but no, it's when your brain replays an emotional situation trying to rewrite the script. Basically, it's fan fiction, starring you. Of course, the reality is, you'll never get that rematch. Karen is probably out there living her best life, completely unaware that she's the villain in your bathroom soap opera. Meanwhile, you're late for work because you were too busy practicing your imaginary Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech. But hey, at least you've got flawless rebuttals in the shower multiverse. Number 3, the elevator button lie. We all know it, pressing the closed door button in an elevator doesn't actually do anything. 99% of those buttons are disabled by law in most countries, and yet people still hammer away at them like they're trying to hack the Pentagon. Here's why control. Humans absolutely crave the illusion of control. Even if you know the button doesn't work, mashing it gives you the comforting lie that you're speeding things up. Psychologists call this illusory control, and it's why casinos are full of people slapping slot machines like they owe them rent money. The sad part, some elevators are actually programmed with a delay, so every time you smash that button, you're just punching air. But you keep doing it anyway, because otherwise you'd have to accept that you're trapped in a metal box with strangers, silently breathing each other's recycled farts until the doors decide to open. So yeah, the elevator button is basically a placebo for your patience, and who doesn't love a good sugar pill for the soul? Number 4, the someone's behind me walk. You know that feeling when you're walking down a dark street, it's late, and suddenly bam, your body decides you're in a horror movie. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up, your steps get faster, and you start doing that awkward half jog, half strut thing like you're auditioning for the Olympics in Speed Panic. This is your amygdala being dramatic. It's the part of your brain that handles fear, and it has one job: keep you alive. Even if the threat is literally nothing more than a leaf rustling in the wind or your own shadow. Scientists call it hypervigilance, which is basically your brain saying, you know what sounds fun, imagining a murderer following us home. Evolutionarily, it makes sense. Our ancestors who felt watched in the dark survived because, 9 times out of 10, there was something waiting like a lion or, worse, another human with bad intentions. The ones who thought, I'm probably fine, got eaten. Congrats, you're here today because your DNA is paranoid. But now, the only thing stalking you is Uber Eats sending another coupon. Still, you can't shake the urge to glance over your shoulder. Spoiler, there's no serial killer. Just Brenda from apartment 3B also walking home, now convinced you're the serial killer. Number 5, saying bye, then wrong way. Ah yes, the ancient social nightmare you say goodbye to someone coworker, date, random acquaintance, and then you both walk in the exact same direction. Nothing shatters human dignity faster. There's no smooth recovery. You can't just pretend you didn't say bye because the farewell has already been launched into the universe. Now you're both stuck, two freshly exposed frauds, shuffling side by side like Sims with broken programming. The conversation reopens awkwardly, or worse, you walk in silence, desperately wishing the earth would develop a quit game button. Why does this feel so bad? Psychologists would point to expectation violation. Your brain sets up a neat script, goodbye, separation. When that gets broken, you're thrown into unscripted territory and your brain hates improv comedy. Suddenly, you're both acutely aware of your bodies, your footsteps, your breathing. Things you normally never think about turn into a Broadway spotlight. The only real solution is to fake a detour. Suddenly, you remember you needed to go to CVS or check out that suspiciously closed bakery. Congratulations, you've just socially respawned. But deep down, you both know you were banished by the gods of smooth exits. Number 6, was that insult about me? Picture this, you're in a group. Someone makes a vague joke or comment. Some people are just lazy and instantly, your brain slaps the spotlight on you. They mean you, obviously. This is what psychologists call the spotlight effect. Your brain assumes everyone is paying way more attention to you than they actually are. The reality, everyone else is too busy starring in their own Truman Show of insecurities to care about yours. But no, your brain is convinced that Brenda's joke about forgetting deadlines was a targeted roast of your soul. It's irrational, but it's wired into social survival. For most of human history, being excluded from the group meant, well, death. So your brain treats even the hint of social rejection like a saber-toothed tiger. That's why, 3 years later, you'll still remember a random comment your teacher made about you not being focused. The irony is that most of the time, those vague jabs weren't about you at all, but your brain will keep replaying it like a bad mixtape, just in case. So yeah, odds are nobody is thinking about you, which honestly is both depressing and freeing. Number 7, checking the empty fridge. You've already opened the fridge 6 times today. You know there's nothing in there but a bottle of ketchup, 2 eggs, and some questionable lettuce that looks like it's auditioning for a zombie role. And yet you open it again, staring into the cold void like it's going to magically produce tacos. This is called variable reward seeking, the same psychological quirk that makes slot machines so addictive. Your brain is basically a lab rat hitting the lever, hoping this time the fridge dispenses something exciting. Spoiler, it won't. The universe is not secretly restocking your groceries when you're not looking. But your dopamine system doesn't care. It's in full maybe, just maybe mode. Evolution wired us for this. Foragers had to keep checking spots for food, even when they were often empty. The cost of looking was low, but the reward finding calories was huge. Now, the only thing you're foraging is half a jar of pickles and existential disappointment. But still, we keep checking, because one day, maybe we'll catch the fridge off guard and it'll cough up pizza, or at least a yogurt that isn't expired. Number 8, the doorway memory wipe. You walk into a room with purpose. You know exactly why you're there. Then boom, it's gone. Your brain has hit Ctrl+Alt+Delete the second your foot crosses the doorway. Now you're just standing there, scanning the room like you're an NPC waiting for dialogue options. This is an actual psychological thing called the doorway effect. When you enter a new space, your brain decides, ah yes, new scene, and shoves the old mental file into storage to make room for fresh information. Unfortunately, sometimes that file was the very reason you walked in there in the first place. So you backtrack to where you started, and magically it comes back. Like the memory was sitting there, tapping its foot, waiting for you to notice. This is your brain's way of keeping context organized, but it feels less like smart evolution and more like your brain's got a lazy filing clerk running the system. On the bright side, at least this explains why you keep standing in the kitchen wondering if you were looking for snacks or just life purpose. Number 9, awkward fake sleep on planes. Let's be real, nobody's actually sleeping well on a plane, But the ritual of pretend sleep is practically universal. You shut your eyes, tilt your head, and pray to the gods of economy seating that the stranger next to you doesn't start a conversation. Psychologically, this is avoidance behavior, but with extra neck pain, you're signaling, I'm unavailable for social interaction without having to, use words. Bonus if you're lucky, the flight attendant will assume you're asleep and skip asking if you want the sad bag of pretzels. The best part. You're hyper aware the whole time. Every cart bump, every child scream, every weird cough in row 17, you hear it. You are not sleeping. You're just performing unconsciousness. And the second you peek one eye open, bam, eye contact with your seatmate who's been waiting to ask what you do for a living. Congratulations, you've lost the game. Number 10, the text reply paralysis. You get a text, you read it, you could answer immediately. It's literally just, cool, thanks but no. Instead, your brain files it under respond later, which really means stare at it for 6 hours while slowly becoming a terrible friend. This is intention behavior gap in action. Your brain fully intends to reply, but the motivation is as fragile as a soap bubble. Maybe you're overthinking the tone, maybe you're in the middle of something, or maybe your brain just decided typing K is the emotional equivalent of running a marathon, so you wait and wait until it's officially too late to respond without looking weird. Now the guilt sets in. Do you reply with a casual, sorry, just saw this even though you've absolutely been online for the past week, or do you go full ghost? Either way, the other person now lives in the Schrodinger's cat box of your social life. Are they ignored or are they forgiven? Meanwhile, you're out here battling the simple act of sending a sentence like it's an epic quest. Truly, modern communication is just Olympic procrastination. Number 11, the mirror check of doom. You're walking past a store window or mirror, and without fail, you do it. The sneaky side-eye glance, the quick, how's my hair? Do I look like a swamp creature? Am I accidentally inventing a new walk check? It's not vanity, it's social self-monitoring. Humans evolved to constantly check how they present to others because fitting in with the tribe meant survival. In 2025, the tribe is just people at Starbucks who couldn't care less if your shirt is wrinkled, but your brain insists on running its own episode of America's Next Top Model every time there's reflective glass. The irony, half the time, you don't even like what you see. Your brain zeroes in on flaws like it's a mean middle school teacher grading your face. You walk away feeling worse than before, but at least you confirmed that, yes, your posture does make you look like a confused shrimp. It's irrational, it's universal, and honestly it's kind of funny that survival instincts now translate into checking your reflection in the microwave door. Number 12, the toilet paper math. We've all done it. You're in the bathroom, you spot a suspiciously small roll of toilet paper left on the holder, and your brain instantly launches into a NASA-level calculation. Will this be enough? Should I risk it? Do I need a backup plan? It's absurd. You're sitting there like a gambler eyeing the last poker chips, weighing the odds of catastrophe. And let's be honest, no other decision in life feels quite as high stakes. You could buy a house, pick a career, choose a life partner, but nothing compares to the moment you realize you might not have enough squares to survive this bathroom session. This, my friends, is scarcity anxiety. Your brain magnifies the importance of limited resources, even if the stakes are laughably low. Ancient humans stressed over food and water. We stress over whether 3 sheets can MacGyver their way through an emergency. Evolution really downgraded us. But hey, at least it keeps you humble. Nothing reminds you of your fragile humanity quite like running out of toilet paper at the worst possible moment. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.